All right, today my message came out of Matthew and Galatians, and I talked a little bit about the verse where Christ says, not everybody that says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven. And talked about how he said, depart from me, you workers of lawlessness. And so we kind of talked about what the lawlessness was. We went over to Galatians, where it kind of lists some of the different, what Scripture refers to as the works of the flesh, and then took a look at how it then counteracts that with the fruit of the Spirit, and how God expects us to have the fruit of the Spirit in our lives and not go around doing the works of the flesh. But so I shared that several times today. I had some good discussions. I didn't get around and visit as many people as I normally do, but I'm okay with that because I had good conversations with the people that I did visit. And so I'm just very thankful for that. The people, as always, seem to receive me warmly when I show up. They seem to be genuinely thankful and pleased. And we have good conversations today. Real thankful for that. And let's see, one of them that I was kind of concerned about. I was wondering what direction it was going to go. I think that I've shared before, I don't know if it's on Facebook yet, about an encounter I had where I watched a guy get beaten down by another guy with a brick, and had to step in and stop that and literally put myself over the guy's body. Well, the guy that did the beating, I saw him today, and he tells me, he says, hey, I heard something about you today. I was like, what's that? He said, I heard that you told them my name, told the police my name, which I didn't tell them their name. The folks that the guy that he beat down and his two friends, they all knew who the guy was. They gave the name, but that doesn't matter. But the point is, I was actually very intentional to not, because I know that if the word gets out that I snitched, then the ability to come out here and talk with the people is really going to be greatly hampered. So I made a point not to do that. And I talked with him a little bit, and it all turned out real well. He totally understood where I was coming from. He understood exactly what I did in intervening, and what I did share with 911 when I called. And so he basically ended up telling me, he said he wasn't really mad at me. What he was really mad about was the situation and how the guy who instigated it, he's not being held liable for anything, and it's all falling on this guy. So everything's working out good there, and I thank the Lord for that. And that was kind of my experience today. I can always go into a whole lot more details, but then we got a long one, and you'll get tired of watching, and he needs some time. So go ahead, man, your turn.
All right. Today my message was really out of John 14:21, and it just talks about those that love the Lord keep His commandments, and also those that love the Lord keeps His commandments, the Father will love him also. And so that was kind of the basis of my message today, and I shared that with the story from when I was about in 2nd and 3rd grade. Playing with fire. Everybody's parents taught them not to play with fire. And the obvious reason is so that we don't get burnt. So one time I was just taking a book of matches as I was sitting in my bedroom, and I struck the match and I threw it down on the carpet. And I don't remember if I tamped it out or if I just let it fizzle out on its own. So then I did that until the book of matches was gone. By the time it was done, I had a spot probably about the size of a volleyball, somewhere between a softball and volleyball, on some red carpet. So it was just really nice and charred and black. And so obviously I didn't get burned from that, but basically what I was trying to share with people is that a lot of people today try to say that Jesus done away with the commandments and things like that, which I fully believe He did not. The commandments are sin. That's what points us to sin, so we understand what sin is. And God is always working on us to change our life. He doesn't want us to wallow in the same sin forever. And so that was pretty much the basis of my message, that God is just a parent, obviously a much better parent than we are. But when we instructed our kids, which I'd done with mine, not to play with fire, basically it's nothing to do with the fire. It's so that they don't get burnt and hurt. And that is what God is telling us and wants us to do, is to change from our ways and to turn from our sin. And I had one conversation with some guys, a guy named Bobby and another guy named Clay at KCRM, who was definitely open to that and understood the message. And had a prayer with them, so it was kind of nice. But other than that, same with me today. Not a lot of encounters. This time of year, it's kind of almost my second full year doing this now, and this time of year is transient. You know, some people I think are heading south.
Yeah.
I know I would if I was homeless. I wouldn't want to sleep on the streets in the 5-degree weather. I'd assume be in Arizona or somewhere not cold. But that's about it today.
All right. And as always, we solicit your prayers. Again, this is Seaweeds, Christ's way of evangelism and encouraging disciples to service. We solicit your prayers. If there's any way you're interested in helping out with the outreach here, you can contact us on Facebook. Socks are always something that we're excited to have. New socks, not used socks. You wouldn't want somebody's used underwear, and socks are like underwear, really, all right? So new socks. And also, we'd like to ask that you would pray that the Lord could make arrangements for a full-time presence here. I'm looking at that. There's some things that we're looking at doing to try to be down here all the time, because I'd like you to just kind of imagine something. Imagine if the only thing that your pastor ever did was come to church and preach the sermon, and then you never heard or saw anything from him throughout the whole week. It's kind of like that, because we're down here just for a few hours on Saturday afternoon, and for the most part that's it. That means our impact is going to be minimal. If we could have missionary down here, you know, somebody down here all the time, every day of the week, then we're going to see a lot more response there. And so we're looking at going to be approaching some churches, and I'm going to talk with them about whether or not they'd want to support so that I can begin to come down here Monday through Friday.
I think you guys remember the story that I shared last week about Joseph, and I kind of want to keep you guys posted on that, because I'm definitely going to take a special interest in him. And unfortunately, I did not find him today, so just want to keep you posted on that.
So pray for Joseph.
Please.
And us. All right, thanks. Bye. God bless.
God bless.